years ago, Square Enix released Drakengard for the PS2, and critics slashed it for being too much of a repetitive button masher. Now, the publisher has teamed with Ubisoft in an effort to revitalize the dragon-flying sword-wielding series. Unfortunately, they didn't. After 20-plus hours of saving the world from destruction in the original Drakengard, 18 years have passed, and once again, you're forced to save the world from destruction. Your dragon's fateful sacrifice at the end of Drakengard was all for naught, as now the seals which she closed up are unloosened, so to speak. You play as another young man, Nowe, and it's the duty of you and your fire-breathing dragon, Legna, to restore peace by protecting the seals from an evil empire. Like all other RPGs, though, there's a lot more to it than that. Throw in a little bit of love, a lot of treason, and a whole bunch of plot twists in the mix, and you have yourself a cookie-cutter RPG plot. As traitors become allies and allies become traitors, you're constantly questioning your own allegiance as you do battle with the same union you set out to defend. When all is said and done, you should be able to predict nearly every plot twist the game throws at you. Just like the original Drakengard, the entire game is broken into a dozen chapters or so, each with their own set of missions to complete. Although this setup alleviates the stress of not having to worry about where to go or what to do next, it's not the free-roaming Zelda experience some might have been looking for. In fact, Drakengard 2 could easily pass as an action-adventure platformer had it not been for the constant character leveling. As Nowe, you set out on a series of quests with Legna that range from protecting an army of knights to helping a villager find special weapons from a cave. But it's all nonsense, really. The only two things you need to know is how fast you can mash the square button and where you can find the shiny light crystals. For the majority of the game, you'll be mindlessly hacking and slashing your way through unintelligent AI. As for the light crystals, they seem to be the answer for completing every task, like unlocking doors and treasures or magically blowing away massive boulders. What sets Drakengard apart from other hack-and-slash games, though, like Dynasty Warriors, is the ability to seamlessly swap from battling on the ground to battling in the air. At almost any time, you can call your dragon by hitting the select button, and he can quickly slaughter hordes of enemies on the ground below. It's the game's shining moment, and it's what makes Drakengard unique. The only problem is the novelty of ground-to-air combat has run dry. We've done this before, so there's nothing new here. The same can be said about character swapping. As the story unfolds, characters will join your party, and you'll have the option to switch on the fly between as many as 4 of them. It's cool that each character specializes in certain combat situations, but that idea grows even older and more boring after every enemy you slice apart. The combat isn't all mindless, though. On the ground, each weapon has its own set of combos and magic spells that are earned through experience points. Performing these special attacks does lessen the monotony, but it's not enough to break the boredom completely. In air, Legna's skills increase in a similar fashion, and while his flying mechanics are solid, you can't help but think this could have been so much better. A lot of the enemies you face are simply sitting targets waiting to be shot. One of the best parts of Drakengard 2 is its player-friendly interface. The developers spent a great deal of time introducing all the typical RPG gameplay elements in an easy-to-learn fashion. You'll often see friendly reminders and tips like when you learn a new combo or forget to stock up on items before battle. It might be a little tedious for RPG veterans, but those new to the genre should appreciate it. Considering the large number of polygons flying around on-screen at once, Drakengard 2 looks surprisingly good. You may be shocked at the amount of detail on the clothing and fluid animations of each character. It makes battles entertaining to watch as you see plenty of dynamic lighting and colorful explosions. Drakengard 2 really comes to life when the full-motion videos kick in. They look fantastic and are one of the best reasons to progress through the game. Unfortunately, there aren't enough of them. The in-game cutscenes are the exact opposite. They're awful and they play all the time. Sometimes you'll simply see a static screenshot with just spoken text. No body movements or gestures, and certainly no facial animations. In addition, the worlds appear a bit bland. The textures look alright, but there aren't enough of them to impress, and each landscape appears almost identical to the last one. Certain locations are plagued with poor draw distances, as you'll occasionally see lots of fog on the horizon. The developers may have tried to hide this flaw by incorporating it into the story, attempting to mistake their technical limitations as an element of gameplay. You'll grow even angrier with the absence of a first-person view. Narrow caves can feel claustrophobic as you fight for a decent camera angle. On the bright side, Drakengard's musical score and sound effects are top-notch. The music can be uplifting at times, fitting well into the game's edgy yet classic style, and the sound effects are spot on. Unfortunately, anything that the game does well, like the music and computer-generated cutscenes, is overshadowed by poor game design. The tools were definitely in place for Drakengard 2 to be an epic adventure. The ground and air combat play well, and the score is exciting, and full-motion videos are impressive. Unfortunately, these tools were unrealized. Drakengard 2 fails with its basic game design, all-too-common hack-and-slash combat, and predictable storyline. We're left to imagine what could have been.